This is Eureka Math, Module 4, Lesson 4, and we are still working on fractions as division. Okay, we've been working on this for a couple days now. So fractions as division, 3 over 4 equals 3 divided by 4 equals 3 divided by 4, okay? So there's lots of ways to write these things, division and fractions. That's what we're working on. Okay, so please open up your Learn book to the problem set for Lesson 4. Write your name on it, and let's start following along, okay? So we're going to use tape diagrams today. Remember we used those in the last lesson. Express your answer as a fraction. Show the multiplication sentence to check your answer. The first one is done for you, so let's go through this together. 1 divided by 3 equals 1/3. So we're going to draw our tape diagram, and that tape diagram represents 1. Okay, so it's 1. And we're dividing it into 3 because it's divided by 3. 1 divided by 3. So here we've got 3 different sections of 1. So if 3 units equals 1, 1 unit equals 1 divided by 3, or 1/3. And you can see that by putting 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Altogether, those would equal 3/3, which equals 1. Okay? And then we show the division here. 1 divided by 3. Well, 3 goes into 1 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract, we've got 1 left over, so 1/3. Okay? Then we can check our answers. 3 times 1/3 is 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 3/3 equals 1. Okay? So that's what we're doing. This is the model. There's A, that's the model. Let's do the next one together. Okay. 2 divided by 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw our tape diagram. And that tape diagram is going to be worth 2, okay, right there. And we're going to divide it by 3. 1, 2, 3. So really it's 2/3, okay? Now we want to know, what does 1 equal? So if 1, 2, 3 squares equals 2, then 1 square, 1 unit, equals 2 divided by 3, okay, which equals 2/3. Let's see, if we put, now we can check our work here, 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 equals 6/3, which equals 2. Okay? Let's try the long division here. 2 divided by 3. Okay? 2 divided by 3. I know when we write it this way, it's 2 divided by 3. And when we do long division, it's backwards. Some of you are having a little bit of a hard time with that this week. So, will 3 go into 2? How many times? 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. Then we subtract, and we have a remainder of 2. Our remainder of 2 is actually 2/3. So 0 and 2/3. Okay, now let's check our work. If 2/3 actually is the right answer, 2/3 times 3 should give us 2. So 3 times 2/3. Okay, and we haven't done multiplication of fractions yet in 5th grade, so we're going to do it with repeated addition. So 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3, right, because we're multiplying 3 times. 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 equals 6/3, which equals 2. Okay? So this 2 matches this 2, this 3 matches this 3, this 2/3 matches this 2/3. Each square is 2/3. Excellent. Okay, next one, 7 divided by 5. So we're going to create our tape. I'm going to change colors here. so that you know that I'm on a different question, so that if it mixes into the red there, you know that I'm on a different question. Okay. 7 divided by 5. So here's my tape diagram, 7. And that represents 7. And I'm going to divide it 5 times. So 7 by 5. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how much does one chunk represent? Well, it represents 7/5. Okay. So if 5 units equal 7, 1 unit equals 7 divided by 5, okay, which equals 7/5. And I can check that if I want. 7/5 plus 7/5 plus 7/5 plus 7/5 plus 7/5. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35 fifths equals 7, right? Okay, now let's do the long division. 7 divided by 5. Okay, 5 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 5 is 5, with 2 remaining, so 2/5. All right, does 7/5 equal 1 2/5? Well, this is an improper fraction, and that is a mixed fraction, but they do equal each other. So let's do the math and see if we get the right answer here. So 7/5 or 1 2/5. Let's multiply to see if that works. 5 times 1 2/5. So I'm going to write that down here actually. 1 2/5 plus 1 2/5 plus 1 2/5 plus 1 2/5 plus 1 2/5. Okay, so I'm going to add all the whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to add all the fractions. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 fifths. Well, 10/5 actually just equals 2, okay, which equals 7. So I've got my 7 here, my 7 here, my 7 here. It all makes sense. Okay, D. Ooh, I'm running out of space now, aren't I? I was writing too big. I have to write a little bit smaller or make my screen a little bit bigger. Let's try that. 14 divided by 5. Okay, there's 14. And I'm going to divide it into 5 chunks because it's 14 divided by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each of these, what would it make equal? Okay, so if 5 units equals 14, then 1 unit would equal 14 divided by 5, which equals 14/5. Okay? So each of these would be 14/5. Let's do the division. 14 divided by 5. 5 goes into 14 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, I have 4 left over. 2 4/5. Okay, let's see if that jives. 2 4/5 plus 2 4/5 plus 2. Oh, do you guys see what I'm doing? I'm multiplying these to check my answer. 5 times 2 4/5. That's what I'm doing. Okay. 2 4/5 plus 2 4/5 plus 2 4/5. So I can add my whole numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Add my fractions. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, 10 plus, well, 20 divided by 5 is 4 equals 14. Okay, 14 here equals 14 there. Okay, it looks like my answer is 14 fifths, which also equals 2 and 4 fifths. All right, next page. We're going to do another chart like we did yesterday, I think it was. Fill in the chart, division expression. There we go. That's our expression. Our fraction is 13 over 3, 13 thirds. Between which whole number is your answer? Well, we can do that by figuring out how we're going to turn this into into a mixed fraction. 3 goes into 13 4 times with 1 left over. So 4 and 1/3, that's 4 on a number line, and this is 5 on a number line. 4 and 1/3 would be right here, okay? And our standard algorithm, 13 divided by 4, 3 goes into 13 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Remainder 1, 1/3. Okay. All right, let's try B. There's our equation. It's already written for us. So now we're going to turn that into a fraction. 6 over 7, 6 sevenths. And we know that 6 sevenths is less than a whole, because if this was 0 and this was 1 and they were divided into 7 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 sevenths would be right here. Okay, now let's do the division. 6 divided by 7, well, that's 0. 0 times 7 is 0. And our leftover is 6, so 6 sevenths. Okay, next one. Okay, so here is 55 tens. So we're going to go 55 divided by 10. That's pretty easy. Now let's turn this into a mixed fraction, because that's a little bit easier to work with. 5 and 5 tenths. But we could also just turn that into 5 and 1/2. Do you see that? 1/2 and 5 tenths, they're equivalent fractions. Now, between what wholes would that be? That would be between 5 and 6. And I can draw a number line and show you that, because if this is 5 on a number line and this is 6 on a number line, 5 1/2 would be right here. Now, if I want to show you in tens, if you want to do it in 5 tens, I can show you that too. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that would be 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens. This would be 5 tens. It would be 5 and 5 tens, okay? It's still right there. So it would be directly between 5 and 6. Now, is that the color I was using? Yes. Now we're going to do the long division, which is 55 divided by 10. So 10 goes into 55 5 times. 5 times 10 is 50. Remainder 5, so 5 tens, 5 and 5 tenths. Good, which also equals 5 and 1/2. Next one, 32 divided by 40, because it's 32 over 40. And I could simplify that even if I wanted to. Let's simplify that. If I divided 32 by 2 and 40 by 2, I would have 16 over 20, but I could divide that by 2 as well, couldn't I? And get 8 over 10. But look, there's so many equivalent fractions here. I could divide it even further by 2 again and get 4 over 5. Do you see that? So where would I be on a number line? Even though those are such big numbers there. Oh, why is that not working? Hello? If I were writing this on a number line, it's 4/5. It's still not a whole. 32/40 is still not a whole. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4/5 would be right here. So it would be between 0 and 1 on a number line. So let's try this here. Does 40 go into 32? No, it goes in 0 times. 0 times 40 is 0. Subtract, I have 32, which will give me 32/40, which equivalent fraction would be 4/5. And number 3, we're going to do some story problems. Greg spent $4 on 5 packs of sports cards. How much did Greg spend on each pack? Okay, so he had $4. I'm going to use my tape diagram. This tape diagram represents $4, and I'm going to divide it by 5 packs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs of sports cards. How much did he spend on each pack? Well, 4 divided by 5 equals 4/5. So he spent 4/5 of a dollar. I can actually figure that out if you want me to figure that out. Now that we've figured out the tape diagram, let's just check our work. 4/5 of a dollar. So that would be $4. And I can show you with decimals here. Have we been using decimals, dividing with decimals much? I don't know if we have. 5 goes into 40. I'm sorry, 5 goes into 4 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract and I get 40. And then I'm going to bring down that 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. Don't forget your decimal. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract and I get 0. 5 into 0, 0. So $0.8, but we don't use 0.8, we use 0.80, so it's actually 80 cents. Now, let's do that as a fraction. I just did it as a decimal. Let's do it as a fraction. I want to show you how it's the same answer, it's just in a fraction. 5 goes into 4 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract, I get 4 left over, 4/5. 4/5 equals 0.8. I'm going to show you why. Because if I were to multiply this by 2 2's, right? 2 over 2, I would have 8 tenths. 8 tenths. Look, 8 tenths. 8 tenths. Same, same. Okay, I can multiply that and show that to you. 4/5 times 5 times 4/5 would be, I don't think we've done multiplication of, okay. So 4/5 plus 4/5 plus 4/5. Oh, I'm running out of room. 4/5 plus 4/5. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 20 over 5, which equals 4. Okay, there's my 4, there's my 4. How much did Greg spend on each pack? 80 cents, or 4/5 of a dollar. He spent 4/5 of a dollar. If Greg spent half as much money, okay, half, so what's half? 80 cents would be 40 cents. And bought twice as many packs of cards, and I got 10 packs. How much money did he spend on each pack? Okay, so if he spent 80 cents and got 5, but then he got twice as many for less, that was a deal. That must have been on sale. So he must have spent 40 cents divided by 10 packs equals 4 cents. Remember, look at that. That looks familiar, doesn't it? Gosh, it's like in there. It's in your brain. 0.40 divided by 10. We just moved the decimal point over 1. Right? We did. We just moved it. We moved it from here to here. So how much did he spend? He spent 4 cents. Or you could say he spent $0.4 per pack. Good. Number 4, 5 pounds of birdseed is used to fill 4 identical bird feeders. What fraction of the birdseed will be needed to fill each feeder? Okay, so we're going to use a tape diagram. And that equals 5 pounds. LBS means pounds. To use 4 identical bird feeders. 1, 2, 4. So it's really 5 divided by 4, which equals 5/4. Okay, 5/4 plus 5/4 plus 5/4 plus 5/4 equals 20/4, which equals 5, right? Okay. What fraction of the birdseed will be needed to fill each feeder? 5/4 of a pound, which also equals 1 1/4 of a pound. Okay, if you want to put that as a mixed fraction. How many pounds of birdseed are used to fill each feeder? All right. What fraction of the birdseed will be needed to fill each feeder? 5/4. How many pounds of birdseed are used to fill each feeder? Well, 1 1/4. We just answered that question. That's weird. Why is it asking us again? That's weird. It's just asking the same thing again. Okay, well, that's okay. We can do that. Maybe it didn't ask us to draw a tape diagram here, and we did, so. And 5/4 equals 1 1/4. Okay, how many ounces of birdseed are used to fill 3 bird feeders? Ounces, but the question's in pounds. Okay, well, and to 3, they are trying to trick us. Okay, so if this is 1 1/4, and this is 1 1/4, and this is 1 1/4, and they're asking us just about 3 of them, we're going to have to do 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4. Okay, how many ounces? So this is still in pounds, you guys. It's still in pounds, LBS. So we have 1, 2, 3 3/4 of a pound. But how many ounces are in a pound? Do you remember? Let's ask Siri. How many ounces are in a pound? Oh, Siri's so smart. 16. So, if 1 pound equals 16 ounces, then 3 3/4 pounds equals how many ounces? That's what we're trying to solve. Ooh, these are challenging questions. I like this. This is good. Okay, well, so we're going to have to multiply 3 times 16. 16 times 3. 3 3/4. Okay, so this is easy. 16 times 3 is, is 12, is 18, carry the 1, 3 is 48. Okay, so 48 holes But now we have to 16 times 3/4. Well, we're just going to multiply across. 16 times 3, again, is 48, but this time the fourths is underneath it. And we both know, all of us, know that 48 divided by 4 equals 12. So it's actually 48 plus 12, which equals 60 ounces. Interesting. So we did it the long way. Let's see if there's an easier way. Let's figure out how many ounces are in each one and then just multiply that by 3. You think? So 1 pound still equals 16 ounces. So that was one way we did it, 60 ounces. Let's check our work in another way. And we want to know 1 1/4 times 16 is going to tell us. So 16 times 1 is 16. So 16 times 1. Now 16 times 1/4 would be 16/4, which is actually 16 plus 4, which equals 20. So if we have 3, so 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 60. Oh my gosh, that was so much easier, wasn't it? Why didn't I do that the first time? That equals 20 ounces for 1 bird feeder. And we want to fill 3. So we need 60 ounces for 3 bird feeders. Good. Oh my goodness. This is a good lesson. A little bit challenging, but I think that you'll do great. So finish your problem set. Take a picture of that. Then submit it. Go to your exit ticket, and let's read this together. Matthew and his 3 siblings are weeding a flower bed with an area of 9 square yards. You know area equals length times width. If they share the job equally, how many square yards of the flower bed will each child need to weed? Now remember, 9 square yards. If this is 9, right? And it's a square, we probably know that this is 3 times 3. I'm giving you so many answers. Okay, so if it's a square that has 3 times 3, 1, like that, 3 times 3 equals 9 yards squared. I gave you so much information. If they share the job equally, how many square yards of the flower bed will each child need to weed? There are 3 siblings. Use a tape diagram to show your thinking. Okay, I've already given you too much. So, there you go. Have fun. Figure that one out. Submit it. Then go back and do your homework, please. Lesson 4 homework. And that will be due on Monday. Okay. Have a great rest of your day.